One of my most favorite cook kitchen setups is the Kephart Cook Kitchen. It basically requires 2 Y branches coming up from the ground, a cross piece, and then you take Y branches and lash them together like this, and it creates pot hangers. And you could create these at different heights for different, heat sources, to different temperatures from the heat sources to hit your pot or whatever you're cooking. This is probably one of my most favorite cook kitchens. Also, one of my most favorite is a tripod. The downfall with the tripod though is that you can only really put one pot on. So you have your pot hanging over the fire, where this cook kitchen you could put a couple pots on. The downfall with this system though, and the upside to a tripod, is a tripod you can open or close the legs for very minute adjustability to get that pot a little bit higher off the flame, a little bit closer to the flame. And this system, you really don't have that. You have to make a lot of these hangers if you want that adjustability. So I was talking with my one friend, Mike Gasper, and we said, how can we get the best of both worlds? And we came up with something, and that's what I wanted to show you today. So all that you need is your traditional cook system. So 2 uprights and a cross piece. You also need 1 V stick, okay, which we're going to trim that down, and a little bit of bank line. If you have that stuff, you're good to go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take our Y branch, and you can see this was growing in this direction. I just cut that off. Now what I want to do is go a little bit above my other side and cut that free, take that edge off. Okay, so this is what I'm left with. At this point I want to come in here and I'm going to make myself just a small groove to catch my cordage. And this doesn't have to be anything super precise, guys, and you'll see why in a second. So we just clean that out. So I just notched this almost all the way around, just enough for it to, my cordage to grab onto something. Okay, knock off these couple little edges. Super easy stuff. Now we're going to take a piece of cordage. This cordage is about 3 foot in length. This is going to vary according to your cook system, but 3 foot is a pretty good amount. Stop knot on the end, just like that, okay? And then all we're going to do is just tie a slip knot, just like this, okay? So that's going to slip down. Take this slip knot and tie it over that, what we just did. Okay, so it's gonna basically, that's now our pot hanger. Okay, so what we're gonna do next now is we're gonna take our cordage and we're gonna take the middle. I'm gonna just use the middle of our cook system. Of course though, this can go anywhere you would want it to. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, you can't see this, but my hanger is facing this way, okay, just like that. I'm gonna let that drop down, and I'm gonna drop that down about 6 inches from the very bottom of the fire pit. And then all that I'm going to do right here is tie a clove hitch, which I'll show you more up close in a second. And tie a clove hitch right here, okay, with a stop knot. And it's important that you use a clove hitch here. You cannot use a slip knot because it will not work right. So I'm going to leave this loose right now before I tighten this down and show you guys exactly what that clove hitch looks like. So now what we have is we have a piece of string with a pot hanger on the end. Okay, so we can actually at this point roll our stick, which will raise or lower our bush pot. The problem is a round stick, and if you have weight in your bush pot, is going to spin down, okay? So your pot's not gonna stay up. So there's a really quick, easy fix for that. That's not gonna affect your bush kitchen at all if you already have one of these built. And let's take a look at that. This is gonna roll with any kind of weight. Now you could get lucky and get a stick. This is a little bit bent so it binds up a little bit more, or you can really wedge it down. But the easiest way to fix that is I went ahead and I made 3 sides, a triangle shape, onto my stick. So that triangle shape is gonna fit perfectly down in this Y, and then all that I need to do to turn it is just to raise it and it fits. Turn it again, and it's not going to go anywhere now. It's just going to bite in there. Okay, I could turn it again, whoop, and it'll bite in there. Now you don't have to do both sides for this, so you can actually just back this out a little bit, turn it to where you want it, and then again drop it down in. But you can get very small changes, about an inch at a time, rise or lower with this, and it makes your system super versatile. So that's it. That's our cook kitchen, and we made it even better. Okay, so very simple carving. Just make that a triangle shape on one side of your stick. Now all that we need to do to rotate this is just turn it up. It'll raise our pot, or turn it down and it will lower our pot. So it's a very, very simple upgrade to this cook kitchen that makes it super versatile. Now, the downfall with doing this though is if you have multiple pots on, okay, you can't really turn this because you're going to mess up your pots. But this is easy enough, and this is what I like about this system. Set your 2 pots down to the side, adjust this. And where this really comes into play really well for me is if you're making a kind of soup or stew or something that you want to just very slow cook, you can adjust that very well to meet your flame source. And that way you're not going to burn it, and it's not going to stay too cold. It's going to be just right. So this was Dan Wowak with Coal Cracker Bushcraft. I hope you enjoyed this upgrade to this cook system. I know we started using this all the time and we love it. If you haven't already, check us out over at coalcrackerbushcraft.com for all our classes and learn more stuff like this. And until the next video, stay in the woods, guys.